Dear students, in continuation to our topic from Python Revision Tour 2 and the book Computer Science with Python, a book by Sumita Arora, today we will discuss from Python Revision Tour 2 lists in Python. My dear students, earlier we have discussed in our previous classes strings in Python, and in that we have covered item assignment not supported, traversing a string, string operators, string slices, and string functions. I hope you all must have gone through the videos shared with you. Dear students, today after completing this topic lists in Python, we will be able to create list, see the differences and similarities between lists and strings, list operations, list manipulation, and making true copy of a list, and also list functions. Lists in Python. A list is a standard data type of Python that can store a sequence of values belonging to any type. That means we can store any kind of data in the list. List is a dynamic array. List is also called heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means dissimilar, means different types of values can be stored. The lists are depicted through square brackets. Whenever a list will be created, it will be started with the open square bracket and will be closed with closed square bracket. Next is list of integers. So here in the list only integer type data is given. So this is list of integers. The next one is list of numbers, integers and floating point. Floating type of value also can be put in the list. Next is list of characters. We can put only the characters also in our list. List of mixed value types. We can put mixed value type also. We can put character, we can put integer, we can put float type value, and this way we can create a list of mixed value types. List of strings. We can put only the strings also in our list. List in Python is mutable. That means we can change elements in our list. A list is one of the two mutable types of Python, that is lists and dictionaries. So in Python, list and dictionaries are mutable data type, and string, tuple and set are immutable. Creating lists. To create a list, put a number of expressions separated by commas in square brackets. That is, to create a list, you can write in the form given below. So here an empty list is created. L is equal to open and close square bracket. So if you want to put the values, then you can put the values. L is equal to open square bracket and the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, whatever the values, either it is number or strings or characters or float type, any kind of data you can put in the list. An empty list also can be created like this: L is equal to list and open and close parenthesis list function. So if you print L, or you can just write L, you will get the output as empty list. So if you check the type of L, so this will show you that this is a list. Creating lists from existing sequences. You can also use the built-in list type object to create lists from sequences as per the syntax given below. It means you can make a list from other sequences also. That means any kind of sequence object, including string or tuple or any list, you can make a new list. Suppose here in the list a string is given and you are asked to convert this string into a list. So this way you can make your list from the string. So L1 is equal to list and data type is of string. So here the string will be converted into list. So if you execute this L1, you will get the output in the form of list. In the same way, this is a tuple. The tuple starts and closed with parenthesis. So here WERTY, it is a characters are given in the tuple. So this tuple also can be changed into list. So L2 is equal to list of T. So in this T is what is stored in T. In T variable a tuple is stored. So if you print L2, this tuple converts into a list. Creating list from keyboard input. You already know that if we want the input from the user, so we use input function. So here with the list also we can use L1 is equal to list and input enter list elements. So after execution you are entering here the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and when you print L1 you will get in this form the output in the form of list. Notice this way the data type of all characters entered is string, even though we entered digits. So this way when you get the input from the user or input from the keyboard, so you get the output in the form of string. Now to enter a list of integers through keyboard, you can use the method given below. So in that we will use here, in place of list we will use list is equal to eval function. So here you can understand that eval, when we use eval, that means whether the data given is string or integers, that automatically will change according to the values given by the user. So here list equals to eval function and input function, and enter list to be added and print list to entered and list. So when you execute, it will look like enter list to be added, and in the form of this is shown in the list form, and list you entered also in the form of list. So here using eval function we will get the output as a list, as an integers, as if we have given integers, so it will show us in the list the integers, whereas without eval function it was giving us output, it was giving output in a list but in the form of string. Lists with strings. Lists and string have lots in common, yet key difference too. So this section is going to summarize the similarities and differences between lists and strings. So first we will see the similarities between lists and strings. Lists are similar to strings in following ways. So length function returns the number of items, number of count in the list. When we find the length, so it will give us the length count of the string or the list. So that is similar in string also and in the list also. That means length function is equal. Indexing is the same as forward direction and backward direction we have seen in the strings indexing. The same way indexing in the list also, it will go from 0 to the end, and it from backward it will start from -1 and -2, -3 and so on till the number of 0 index. And same way in the slicing also, as in the string slicing we have already seen. The same way we can slice, we can cut our list into pieces. Start value can be given, start and stop value can be given, and start, stop and step value as we have given in strings. The same way it can be given with the list also. Membership operators. Both in and not in operators work on lists just like they work for other sequences such as strings. So operator in tells if an element is present in the list or not, and not in does the opposite. Next is concatenation and replication operators, plus and. So this is also the same thing as we have seen in strings. We can concatenate means joining two lists, as we have joined earlier two strings. So here concatenation we can do with the list also. So with using plus operator adds one list to the end of the another. The multiplication operators repeats a list. So this sign will multiply the list. So I hope this is clear. Next is accessing individual elements. So like strings, the individual elements of a list are accessed through their indexes. So here example is given. A variable vowels contain A, E, I, O, U. So now the 0 is the index value. So vowel of 0. So it will give you what is the position of 0 index here. This A is at the 0 index. So it will return A. Vowels at the 4th index. The 4th index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will return U. Vowel -1. So it will give you the last value U. Vowel -5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So here this will return you A character. Next is difference between list and string. Now as we have seen the similarities, and now we will see what is the difference. So the list and strings are different from one another in following ways. So first one is storage and second one is mutability. So what is storage, you know? So the lists are stored in memory exactly like strings, except that because some of their objects are larger than others, so they store a reference at each index instead of single character as in string. And in mutability, you know, strings are not mutable, but lists are mutable. In strings, you cannot change individual elements, but list allows you to do so. Next is list operations. In this section, we shall talk about most common list operations briefly. So traversing a list. This is also the same as we did in strings. So traversing a list means accessing and processing each element of it. The for loop makes it easy to traverse or loop over the items in a list as per the following syntax. The same way we have done in the string also. So for item in a list, and it will process the each item here. So example, you can see L is equal to a list is given, and in the list characters are stored for A in L. So in L all the elements are stored. So in L this is the length of the list. So each individual item will come in A till the length of this L is over, or the length of L gets printed. So here each individual one by one these elements will get printed. Joining lists. The concatenation operators, when used with two list, joins two list and returns the concatenated list. So here list 1 is given and the list 2 is given. So here list 1 plus list 2, it has joined both the lists together and made one list. So the plus operator when used with the list requires that both the operands must be of list types. Repeating or replicating a list. This also will be done the same way as we have done in the strings. So like strings, you can use a strict operator to replicate a list specified number of times. So one list is given and the elements are 1, 3 and 5. So list 1 we multiply by 3. So it has printed a list 3 times. So this is repeating or replicating lists. Slicing the lists. My dear students, please go through the previous video of strings where I have shown you slicing of strings. So the same way the list also will be, slicing also can be done in the list. List manipulation. So in the list manipulation, you can perform various operations on the list like appending, updating and deleting, etc. So in your previous class, you have already seen the append function, update function and delete also. So we will see once again here adding elements to a list. To add an element, we use append function. So append function or append method. The append method adds a single item to the end of a list. So here you can see the example list 1 lst1 equals to 10, 12 and 14. So here if we want to add an element in this list, so we will do list 1 lst1 dot append and the number integer 16. So when you print lst1, so here you can see that in your existing list 10, 12 and 14 and this 16 has been added at the end of the list. So this way the append function, append method works. Updating elements to a list. So here if you want to change any elements in the list, the value can be replaced. Suppose here you can see the example here 10, 12, 14 and 16. So lst1 of 2 means index value of 2, which is 0, 1 and 2, 14. We want to update with 24. So now if you print this lst1, so you see here that 10, 12 and 24. So 14 was at the second index value, so that has been changed to 24. So this way update function or update method works. Deleting elements from a list. You can also remove items from lists. The del statement can be used to remove an individual item or to remove all items identified by a slice. It is to be used as per syntax given below. See, if you give only del statement, del and list and the index, so this will remove a particular element which is given at the particular index mentioned by you. And if you remove elements in a list slice, so then you will use del list start value and stop value. So this is the example given for deleting a single element. Single element is not given here. This is the example of list slicing. So del list and elements from 10 to 15. Here you need to remember one thing. If you use del and the name of the list only, then your complete list will be deleted. So it will delete all the elements and the list object too. So after this, no object by the name list would be existing. You can also use pop method to remove single element. Pop method will delete an element from the last index. So whatever the last element is given in the list, that will be removed with the pop method. And it will return the value also. Means the deleted elements will be given in the output. You can also delete an element of your choice from the list using pop method by giving the index value. So you can see here l.pop, and here I have given index value 1. So at the index value 1, this is 0 and this is 1, this is 2. So it will remove the elements which is at the index 1 and returns this 2 because this 2 was at the index value of 1. Next is the remove method. The remove method removes the first occurrence of given item from the list. It is used as per the following format: list.remove and the value. Takes one essential argument and does not return anything. So as you have seen in pop method, the removed elements was returned, was given in the output. But in a remove, that will not be shown. We have three methods to remove an element from the list. One, we have seen del statement. Then second, we have seen pop method. And third is remove method. So this remove method will report an error if there is no such item in the list. If we are trying to find out the element, trying to remove or delete the item which is not available, then it will return an error. So here we can see a variable t1 has a list A, E, I, P, Q, A, Q, P. So there are more than one elements of the same type, like same characters are repeated. A is given here twice. So secondly, remember that in the list we can keep duplicate values as well. So here where there is a duplicate value, so when you remove, in case of duplicate value, it will remove the first value which occurs at the first index, that will be removed. So here you can see that if we have removed A, so because A is given twice, so here the first A will be removed which is at the 0 index. So the output is EI, PQ, AQ and P. So the first A has been removed. So now we have removed here T1 dot remove P. So now we are removing P which is at the 0, 1, 2, 3, third index. So P is also given twice, third index and the last index. So here also it will remove P from the first occurred in the list. So that is the way we use the remove method. Next comes the insert method. So the insert method or insert function inserts an element at a given position. With this function, you can put an element wherever you wish, wherever you want to insert an element can be inserted, but it takes two arguments. You can see here list dot insert position and item. So first argument you have to give the position where you want, like the index value, and the item, the element which you want to insert. So in the example you can see here T1 and the list is AEU. So now you want to insert here at the second index the value I. So the second index is 0, 1, 2. So now U is at the second index and you want to insert at the second index I. So insert position second and the value I. So now when you execute T1, you will see the output AEIU. Now I has come to the second index value 0, 1 and 2, and U has come to the next of second index value, that is third index value. Now U is at the third index value. So this is how we use insert method. Then comes the clear method. This method removes all the items from the list and the list becomes empty list after this function. So this function returns nothing. It is used as per the following format. So if you want to clear your list, then you will use list.clear function. In the example you can see you have a list L1 and the elements are 2, 3, 4, 5. List 1 dot clear, and if you execute you will see all the elements are removed, but you will see the sign of empty list. That means you have a list of L1 but it contains no elements. Next is the count method. This function returns the count of the item that you passed as argument. So whatever the elements, which element you want to count, the occurrence of the element has come, you can use count function or count method. In example you can see the particular element 18 has come twice in the list. So here L1 dot count 18. So you want to know that the element 18 is how many times present in the given list. So that count method is used to count the number of the element given in the particular list. The next is the reverse method. The reverse method reverses the item of the list in sort, that is the opposite of, descending order. Reversing is in descending order. If you want to see your list in descending order, you can use the reverse method, list dot reverse method, and your list will be printed in the reversed order. Now the last one is the sort method. The sort function sorts the element or the items of the list by default in increasing order. This is done in place, that is, it does not create a new list. It is used as per the following syntax. See, list dot sort function. For example, T1 EIQAQP. T1 dot sort, execute T1. It will print the list in the ascending order. So you can see here A, E, I, P, Q and Q. So sort method will give you your list in increasing order, in ascending order. And if you want to print, as we have seen now, in the reverse order, you will use reverse order. So to reverse a list, we have one more method. We can use list dot sort and reverse equals to true. So this will also give you the list in reverse order. So these are some of the list functions we have just discussed. Next is making true copy of a list. That means we have to make another copy of the same list. So now there are two ways. One is shallow copy and another is deep copy. So assignment with an assignment operator equals to on list does not make a copy. Instead, assignment makes the two variables point to the one list in the memory, and that is called shallow copy. That means that list will be single only, but that here when you see the example, colors equal to red, blue and green, this is the list. So if you are now making B is equal to color, so this does not copy the list, whereas B and colors both will denote to the same list. So if you make changes in one list, the other list will also report those changes, because these two list names are labels referring to the same list, because equals to copied the reference, not the actual list. So if in the list colors, if you make any change, that change will reflect in B also. Dear students, here one thing you have to remember, if you try this in interactive mode, that may not work. So this you can practice, or that you can check in the script mode. So you will see that the changes made in the first list colors will reflect in B as well. Now to make B true copy of list colors, that is an independent list identical to list colors, you should create copy of list as follows. So if you write B equals to list of colors, so this will make another list. Now if you check the ID of both these objects or variables, colors and B will be different. And if you make changes in colors, that will not affect the list copied in B, because now that copy is different, that is stored at the different memory address. So here this copy is called deep copy. That's all for today, my dear students. We shall continue tuples or tuples in the next class from the same topic, Python Revision Tour 2. Thank you.